Stribog SP9A3G, as in Glock mags. Cold shot first impressions. I've got 10 rounds of Winchester white box in the included Korean produced magazine. See how it runs, and then we'll continue on. But absolute first shots, haven't done any prep work to the gun. And yes, there are sights integrated into this. If you haven't seen them, you're not familiar with them, you need to see the tabletop video. I've shown that, and on 4 other variants of Stribogs. So here we go. Recoil is nice. It's a little bit bouncy, kind of pops around on you. That could be the SP Tactical brace. It's rubber, so it's obviously not the firmest thing out there, but no issues, and it's still smoother than most direct blowbacks. What we'll do coming up is full mag plus 1. Oh, I had another round. There we go. And we got our last round bolt hold open. Even on soft Winchester white box, that US locker certainly works. So we'll do full mag plus 1. We'll do our multi-mag test to see which aftermarket Glock magazines work and don't work. Then you'll get a what's for dinner test to see what the gun runs on. Coming up next on GBGuns. Made the realization that since full mag plus 1 is the test of the magazine more than the gun, and the Stribog is running off of someone else's mag pattern, it's not really a fair test. We know Glock mags work as Glock mags do. So we're gonna skip that and go into our multi-mag test. The intent here is to find which of the aftermarket mags fit and function, how they fit, do they drop free. I'm sticking with that Winchester white box, very soft stuff, since the internet seems to have concerns about how well the Stribog can run on soft stuff. Sorry, I can't provide a soft shoulder. It's just bad shooting form, but I do have a brace on here that is absorbing some. So it's kind of like being a soft shouldered shooter. Our first mag is from Fab Defense. This is their Ulti Mag, which has some nice contours and texture on it, and is an 17 rounder, I believe. It adds 1 to the basic. Just in seating, not so great. I didn't get positive confirmation. There's that lock, but it does not want to come out. See how it runs. We did get last round bolt hole open, but it is not drop free. It's fight it free. So a no-go for ETS Fun Stick. Clicks in nicely. That mag release, it's really stiff. See how it does once it's empty. Last round bolt hold open was not an issue. But getting it out is proving to be, to get that out, I had to beat on the mag release with another magazine, and then it came right out. So it was just caught somehow on the shapes of the magazine itself. Here's an old school Gen 3 Glock 17 magazine with a Glock factory extension. Clicks in nice, and you can see, well, we kind of had drop free. This could be interesting. Did not want to lock open on empty, but it does drop. Here's a torque mag. These add a little bit of capacity as well. They're lightweight, no metal reinforcement. Ooh. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'll put it near the mic. It's a little grindy, and it does not want to lock in position. Torque mag. An older Smoke ETS mag. That clicked. We didn't get last round bolt hold open. However, when I run the charging handle, it locks open on it, which tells me the gun may be short stroking a little bit. Could be that it's weak ammo, could be the gun needs to be broken in. Might be that that Winchester white box is right on the edge of reliable functioning in this. Did not want to drop free. I think we've got a mechanical issue with the mag for when you want your mags to run sometimes. Good click. Strange. Locked open just fine. Yeah, that mag release is really stiff. Yagaman, this is a 15 rounder with a pinky rest for a Glock 19. Definitely clicked in. Laser and bolt hold open was not an issue. Mag release getting stuck. Glock factory fun stick. Good click. Once again, did not lock open on empty, but manually charging it, it does. Older style Korean fun stick with the texture at the bottom. Good click. Locked open, drops free nicely. Xtar USA, this is their Glock mag. Good click. Locks open and drops free. Mag release is a little stiff. I don't know if it's my particular gun or it's the design, but it's certainly stiff. And I think it's safe to say that Winchester White Box might be on the low end of making this gun run reliably enough for last round bolt hold open. We'll find out more when we do our What's for Dinner test coming up next. It's What's for Dinner time. Thanks to our patron supporters, Ammo Squared supporters, and the folks at True Shot Gun Club, we're able to show you 10 different loads. And as I come along these, you can see their weight, overall length, projectile shape, and construction is all different. What we're looking for is, can it feed from slide lock? Is there enough energy to cycle it and feed another round of the same type? And lastly, is there enough energy to hold the bolt open when empty? Just a basic function check, running 10 different loads. Today we're going from a lightest of 65 grains to a heaviest of 165. So quite a variety. We've got steel case, we've got brass case. The steel is nickel plated, and we've got nickel plated brass as well. Hollow points, frangibles, all the stuffs. Let's get to it. Off camera, I went ahead and checked again on all of the magazines with that Winchester White Box and removed the 4 that we had issues with not having last round bolt hold open. So I'm going to be using the rest of the variety for the What's for Dinner test. If we have an issue, we'll try it with another magazine. I also noticed in that off-camera test that sometimes it was easier to hit the magazine release on the left side to grip, strip, rip, kind of getting the mag out on some of those stickier mags versus just pushing the button. The button over here is a little stiff. Keep in mind that on your Glock, although there's magazine catch cutouts on both sides of the magazine is intended for, and the way a Glock works, it's releasing from the left side, the side that your thumb would be on the pistol. So that may be why pressing the mag release on the left side, the natural side versus the transferred side, is running better. I could be wrong. We'll see. I'm sure many of you have opinions about that. So first for What's for Dinner is our Novex. This is a 65 grain plus P. Now I personally think that running plus P in a barrel longer than 4 inches is kind of a waste and unnecessary, but at only 65 grains, is that extra pressure going to help make sure it runs well in this roll delayed setup? Let's find out. No issues, very smooth. That was very comfortable shooting. I was impressed with that. Yeah, here we go. Right side mag release, very stiff, but by hitting it with my thumb on the left side, it comes out. My second is from Polyfrange. This is some 90 grain frangible stuff. Great for indoor use or at training facilities. Just yesterday, I was down at Thunder Ranch where frangibles are required. Also nice and soft shooting, little smoky. Now into our defensive loads. Winchester Silvertip, 115 grain. Stuff is good for vampires, no, werewolves, jeez, sorry. That had a stouter recoil, that is, I'm sure you can see, a little bit more pop. No Sec Federals Punch 124 grain. This is a nickel plated case. The nickel plating is corrosion resistance, also aids in feeding and extraction. Still stouter, but still soft. Smells a little bit like burning. Our wild card, this Venom ammunition. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this stuff, but the box is not labeled with the projectile weight. Comes out of Turkey. I'm assuming it's 124 grain, and it looks like the projectile has a brass jacket, not copper. Felt nice, no issues. That mag drops free when you want it to. Now we've got some ZQI 124 grain. This stuff is interesting, also Turkish production. It is nickel plated steel case with a brass jacketed full metal jacket. In handguns, it feels like it's NATO pressure or similar. It was definitely a stouter recoil here. I got a click and no bang. What happened here? It did not load the last round from the magazine. There we go. So that was a magazine issue, not an ammunition issue, and that was with one of these new X-Star USA. Using the included fun stick from Korea, we've got 3 rounds of Hornady Critical Duty. This is the 135 grain Plex Lock, not the Plus P. Because as I said, if your barrel's longer than 4 inches, Plus P is kind of a waste of wear and tear on the gun and more expensive. Another feed issue. Interesting. It appears, if you guys are gonna be able to see it, it's sitting in the round just right, or in the magazine. Does not want to go into the chamber, but the bolt release had popped up. That would be a mechanical issue of the gun itself. Last round bolt hold open, no issue there. Smells like cinnamon. Next up, the Federal HST 147 grain law enforcement. What am I doing with it? I'm enforcing the supreme law of the land, Second Amendment. Good stout recoil, very controllable though. I was able to get right back on target, riding the recoil, if you will. I don't know if you guys have spent much time with say an AR-10 or some 12 gauges or whatever it may be for you, but I've certainly found that there are some firearms and some loads where you can just kind of ride the recoil, and right as the gun is settling, you're back on target when you've got the right ammunition in it. That was one of those. I could do a lot with that, I think. Next is the Federal Syntech 150 grain. This is for action pistol. It's a gamer load meant to hit the energy mark without being too difficult to control. We've had the same thing happen. Our bolt lock lever has popped up. Considering that popping that up is a function of the magazine, I'm going to assume that we're experiencing that because the gun doesn't like those magazines. Next is from Ammo Inc. Stealth 165 grain. This is a very, very heavy, very slow, wonderful subsonic for running a can. We've run that load in a Stribog with the can on. If you want to hear how quiet it is, it's in our massive What's for Dinner test that we did a couple years ago. A little more recoil than I was expecting out of that load, but that's likely because it's got a lot more barrel to get more velocity. So yeah, it's probably still subsonic, but moving pretty quick. So once again, for like the 7th time, we've proven that the Stribog can eat just about anything you put through it. This doesn't cover all ammunition out there. It doesn't cover if you've got a soft shoulder or maybe your brace is too spongy, but from these 10 loads, which I think it's fair to say represent a wide spectrum of energy and recoil impulses, no issues with the SP9A3G. To wrap up my thoughts on the SP9A3G, you're getting the roller lock, roller delay lock, if you will, reduced recoil, which will make it suppress better. As I said in the tabletop video, not running it suppressed here because every suppressor is different and every ammunition is different. And whenever somebody on YouTube shows you a gun running suppressed, almost all of the results you see there are not necessarily something you can replicate at home unless you have that exact can and that exact ammunition. From the way the gun cycles to accuracy to recoil, all of that. So to keep things fair to you guys, I run it the way it comes. Running Glock mags instead of the Grand Power mags. That's the big difference between this model and the 4 other models we've shown you. Is that an advantage? Yeah, for sure. If you've got a lot of Glock magazines, but as we've shown, you're going to want to test whatever Glock pattern magazine you have at home, because not all of the ones that we ran, we had 4 out of 8, 9 that weren't quite right. I did notice for sure as I kept going on that reaching up and mashing the left side mag release is the way to get things out. So if you're used to AR style pushing with your trigger finger, it's going to be more challenging than MP5, AK, any of those other designs where your support hand is grabbing the mag to rip it out, because in doing so you can push the mag release on the left side. That's how I got around that with this gun, this example. Do I wish it was smoother on the right side? Yes, for sure. That issue of the bolt catch popping up happened with some mags, not with others. Happened with some ammunition, not with others. All of the mags you saw in the What's for Dinner test ran fine with Winchester White Box. So once again, it's something where your variables are going to determine your user experience. If you got a lot of Glock mags, Glock pattern magazines, this might be the way to go to get into a Stribog, because regardless of any mag tuning or fitment issues you have to figure out, remember this is still a longer barrel, which means more muzzle energy, more power in a shorter overall platform than the Scorpion. And I think that's pretty cool. If you got any questions about the Stribog, this one, or any of the other 4 models we've covered, you can check out the playlist or hit us up in the comment section. Thanks for watching.